The echoes of laughter still hung in the air when a chilling hush crawled up my spine, cold and tight like barbed wire. Not mine, theirs. A symphony of uneasy chuckles, forks tapping porcelain, and the sharp sting of wine trying to cover something far more rotten. My wife's eyes glittered with amusement. Her sister, Mira, tilted her head slightly, her lips twisted into a smirk, waiting for my reaction like a predator savoring the last twitch of its prey. But I gave her nothing. I stayed still, lifted my glass calmly, let a smile settle on my lips like frost on glass, and when I spoke it sliced. So, how does it feel knowing this so-called useless man won't be funding your lifestyle anymore? This time, the silence wasn't polite or staged. It was thick, alive, painful. Mira blinked, thrown off. My wife's laughter cracked and stopped mid-breath. Her father stared into his plate like something inside it had started to squirm. No one said a word, except me. The one they thought was spineless, unseen, easy to dismiss. Later that evening, she entered our room wearing that familiar arrogance she'd worn like perfume for years. "What was that stunt downstairs?" she asked. I glanced up from my laptop. "Just some honesty." Dad panicked. Her eyes rolled. "You humiliated me." I wanted to ask if she ever felt humiliated while whispering into her phone at midnight, curled toward the bathroom with the door just barely shut. But I didn't. I simply logged out, closed the lid, and watched her back turn toward me, tense with irritation, not guilt. That was it. Not the beginning, but the moment everything snapped. The invisible thread holding it all together. Her secrecy. The way she grabbed her phone when she thought I was asleep. The smile she reserved for her texts. Nothing like the one I'd once earned with patience and sacrifice. This one was relaxed, intimate, reserved for someone else. I watched her from behind in the darkness and knew. From that moment on, I started collecting time like clues, receipts, messages, the pitch of her voice when she said she was going to yoga. I never confronted her. That's how you lose. Instead, I quietly took leave from work. She never noticed. I followed her once. Just once. She didn't see me. Didn't know I stood there watching her greet him outside a cheap hotel that didn't ask for ID. Watched her kiss him before they even stepped inside. He wasn't impressive. Probably in his mid-30s. Might have been an accountant. Definitely the type to tell her she deserved better, prettier, smarter, too good for the likes of me. And maybe she believed it. They always do. I ordered the DNA test out of resentment, not suspicion. I didn't know what it would say. But I needed to. One final, solid truth before I walked away from the wreckage. When the results arrived, I didn't open them right away. I sat holding the envelope, feeling its weight like a calm before execution. The results were short, cold. My daughter wasn't biologically mine. Yet she still called me Dad, still sprinted to the door when I came home, still sobbed when I missed bedtime. I stared at the paper until the letters turned shapeless. Then I folded it neatly, slid it into a plain white envelope, and wrote her name on the front. Nothing more. That night, I made dinner. Her favorite. She smiled from across the table like everything was normal, like I hadn't been silently bleeding out for weeks. I handed her the envelope alongside the salad bowl. "What's this?" "Open it." She did. Read it once. Then again. And again. Her grin disappeared like melting mascara. I watched her hands shake, watched her eyes search mine. Lips parted, but no words came. I stayed silent. Just chewed my food slowly. She tried to speak. Maybe to explain, maybe to lie, maybe to negotiate. I stopped her with a whisper. "Don't insult me with lies." Her jaw closed. I stood up, pulled a second envelope from my coat pocket, and laid it beside her plate. This one was heavier. Inside were months of evidence. Bank records, credit card bills, rent payments, tuition fees, every expense I covered to support her sister. "She can get a job," I said simply. Tears filled her eyes. Mascara streaked down her cheeks like ink in the rain. "I never meant." "I know," I replied. "That's the real problem." She reached out. I stepped back. No yelling. No insults. Just silence while her carefully built world collapsed around her. That same night I left. Took my passport, my laptop, and a photo of my daughter when she was 3, when she was still mine, even if her DNA disagreed. They'll rewrite the story. They always do. He just left. He overreacted. He was always distant. Let them. Truth doesn't beg for applause. It just needs air. And tonight it finally breathed. The last thing I heard as I closed the door? Her sobs, small and choked. The sound of someone realizing they gambled everything and lost. And after that, silence. Freedom. Final line. She called me useless. So I became nothing. And nothing is impossible to control.